If I had to pick any place to ever do a show, it would be Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. So stay with me to sample this true taste of history. Join me for a private tour.
If you were a visitor in Jefferson's time, you would have come to the door and been welcomed by an enslaved butler named Burrell Colbert. And Mr. Colbert would have shown you a seat, and you would have sat probably here and waited to meet Jefferson and members of his family. There were bones and fossils that Jefferson had collected over his lifetime, and he was always seeking an opportunity to educate his visitors.
I know Jefferson from a culinary point of view, but the other Jefferson around was just such a contributor to early American culture.
Jefferson was a congenial host.
Dining for me was never simply a means to provide oneself the ability to survive to the next day. And through my life, this developed.
If you were a visitor, you would have enjoyed 2 meals a day in the dining room. The first was breakfast, and 2 bells were rung. The first to warn people to get ready, the second to say that the meals were on the table.
Did the family eat with the guests?
Oh, absolutely. Jefferson's family didn't want to have a lot of servants in the room, so to reduce the number of houseboys, they used something called a dumbwaiter, and it's a tiered set of shelves on wheels and made for a much more intimate supper or breakfast. Jefferson's granddaughter, Ellen, after taking a visit to Richmond, wrote to her family that she missed the Feast of Reason at Monticello.
What do you think was the most precious possession of Thomas Jefferson here in Monticello?
Well, I can't say which single thing was the most important. I guess if I had to answer that, I would say that it would have been his original rough draft of the Declaration of Independence. But second to that, what he often pointed out to visitors were what he called the triumvirate of worthies. And they were the 3 greatest men who ever lived: Francis Bacon, Isaac Newton, and John Locke. And their thoughts influenced his ideas about liberty and independence.
Words cannot describe my gratitude for you opening Monticello to my eyes.
It is a pleasure and an honor and privilege for all of us to work at Monticello.
And I'm so delighted to spend a couple of days with you here and firing up the stove.
I can't wait.
I feel the presence of Thomas Jefferson every moment I move around here. Today, we're going to learn about the slave chefs that actually prepared these fantastic meals that were served here at the dining rooms in Monticello all along. Every chef has some of their favorite dishes. Today is one of my favorite. And the reason it's one of my favorite, because it combines the 18th century together with the heavy influence of the West Indies. Later, I'm going to be joined with an expert that knows more about the 18th century and the slave chefs than I will ever know, Dr. Lenny Sorensen. I'm really looking forward to this experience. All right, let's get started. For this dish, the best thing to buy is a lamb shoulder. Now you can just buy it boneless. The reason the shoulder meat is so good because it has enough muscles and a little bit of fat in it that you need. It's an interesting dish that it takes overnight preparation, because what you want to do is you want to cut your lamb into nice chunks, depending how you like it. There's again no right, no wrong. If you like it bigger, if you like it smaller, it's really not a problem. You want to cut it in chunks like so. You can also buy a boneless bone it yourself, and use the bones in a stock. Not a problem at all. Just about so. And the most important part is that all the ingredients, which is very interesting in this technique, will be merged in with the meat and sit overnight. So I have a little ginger. People always have trouble peeling ginger. Just take a paring knife and just put it down like that, or even a kitchen spoon. It's really easy. Just cut a few pieces, not too fine for that. Now ginger came over with all the other spices from the West Indies. Some garlic, onion rough cut too. It's all together. Here we go. Carrot. Just a quick cut, quick chop.